Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial video over here on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be using the Cricut iPhone app as well as the Brutus Monroe Inks to make the card that you're seeing here now. So first and foremost what we're going to do is I'm going to actually show you how to use the app. So all you're going to do is of course click on the Cricut Design Space app and you are going to click Start New Project. First and foremost what we need here is a shape. So you just simply click the shape and you're going to get the square that's going to pop up there once you select the square, and we're going to change the size. So you want to hit edit to change the size. We're going to make ours 4.5 inches and then you just click off of that screen and drag your little square down there. Now we want to insert an image. So I'm going to click on cartridges at the top here and I'm going to type in monogram because we're going to use the monogram motif cartridge. So now we hit enter and we can click on that cartridge. Now the nice thing about the app is you can click on the search bar now and you can find exactly what you need within that cartridge. I need the number 3 and the number 0. So I enter that in and click enter and now it's going to bring up what I need. For this card we're going to select the drawn image as well as the cut image. So you'll see those being selected here and we hit insert and that will bring them into our project. Now we're going to work on each number separately. So we're going to drag our numbers around here so that it's easier to work on our work surface. And now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to click on that cut file 3 that we have there and I'm going to select ungroup under the actions tab. Now we're going to take all of these different layers and move them and delete them except for that middle layer. We'll delete the shadow as well. Once that shadow layer is deleted, we're going to take that 3 and we're going to take our drawing and we're going to put that on top of the cut. So we're going to go ahead and you'll see here that those marks will come up showing us that it is aligned centered and it's centered perfectly. Now we'll select both and we'll click attach under that actions panel. That just simply means that it's going to draw on top of the cut out 3 that we have here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just hitting the layers panel because I want to make sure that that 3 is in fact going to be drawn. So everything is fine. We're going to reattach it here because I unattached it because I wasn't sure that it was going to be written, and of course it is because it's considered a writing file right off the bat. So now we're just going to repeat that process here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take that number 0, and we're going to delete all of those layers. We're going to take our writing and we're going to go, actually you can see that it's going to be behind it here, so we want to go to our our edit panel, and we are going to hit arrange and we are going to move it to the front, and we're going to resize this one too until it's perfectly in the center. And again, those alignment marks will show us exactly when it's perfectly in the center. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just zooming out here a little bit and we're going to select our number 0, I don't know why I keep saying that, number 0, and we are going to attach those as well. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that this 3 and this O are going to fit perfectly on that square on my card. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take a look at them. Obviously they don't fit now. We're going to zoom in and I'm going to go to our edit panel and I'm going to kind of just play around and see what exactly I think will fit. So with the height, I'm going to first try it out at a 3.5 and just click out of there anywhere on the screen, and I think that's still going to be a little bit too big, but I do try it with both numbers and it's very easy to just shift them down and it will show us exactly them lined up, and that is too big. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to go back into the edit panel after I kind of move them around a little bit, and I'm going to change it to 3 inches, and I think that that is perfect. Now it's not going to fit on here perfectly now as I align it, but of course it will fit perfectly once we go ahead over to the card and we actually place it onto the card front. So what you'll see here is I'm just kind of moving it around to kind of configure and see exactly how it will work, and then I realize that it's not going to matter if it's centered on the screen because they will be cut separately. So now once you have everything right where you kind of want it, you're going to hit send to matte, and it's going to show you what your mats are actually going to be for cutting. In this video I'm not going to show you actually the actual cutting, but you will see exactly how to make the card. So those are our 2 mats and we'll just send it over to cut. Now we're going to jump over to the craft table, and I'm going to show you exactly how we assembled this card. This is, again, my favorite watercolor paper, the Canson watercolor paper, and what I did was I just pulled off a piece there, and we're going to make a 6x6 card. So what I did was I just cut that down to 6 inches, and it's 12 inches long already, so we just are going to fold that card base there and use my bone folder in order to get a nice crisp crease on that card. Now what we'll need is we'll need a 5.5-inch piece that will go on top of that card base there. So whatever type of paper you would like to put behind there, you can choose. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of paper that was 4.5 inches, I believe is what we had it marked at, off of our sheet here, and that's what we're going to use as our background behind the numbers. So I wanted to color this background something that was going to match the coloration of the actual letters, or excuse me, numbers that we're doing. I don't know why I want to keep calling them letters. So I'm just taking the Brutus Monroe Rouge color of ink, and I'm just swiping that right across the watercolor paper. Again, with the Brutus Monroe inks, they will dry permanently, and you're going to see here that it gives, again, a very rich paint-like finish to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean up my craft mat here real quick, because I don't want to get any of that ink on any more of the card. Obviously it wouldn't really matter if I got ink on the back of the card because you're not going to see it, but I wanted to go ahead and get this cleaned up either way. So I've now cleaned up my work surface, and you will see here that I am going to actually also wipe down with my dry rag as well to make sure that we don't have any cross-contamination with any of the other inks that we're going to be using in the video. So now I'm going to give you a quick view of what that looks like, and we're going to allow that to dry before the next step in placing it on the card there to take a look. You'll have to excuse all of the coloration on my fingers. I was playing around with color bursts, and you'll see a video coming with that soon. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our numbers, and with those numbers, of course, as you can see here, they were perfectly cut out around that actual drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them off of the mat, and you'll see here once I pull them out of the paper that we do have a perfect drawing inside of those numbers. And I just thought that that was really cool because I love the monogram motif cartridge, and I wanted to think of kind of a different way to use that. So here it is on there, and I used the Cricut .03 fine marker, and it is permanent once it's dry, so I wanted to go ahead and just hit it with my heat tool real quick just to make sure that it was completely dry, because we are going to be doing some watercoloring here. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have any running with those markers whenever we were going to go ahead and watercolor. So now what you'll see me do is I'm going to take those numbers, and I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to take an adhesive dot runner, and I'm going to place just a little bit of adhesive on the back of each of those numbers. The reason for this is I don't want the numbers to move or curl or kind of do anything while I am painting them, because there's going to be some water on them. So we're just placing those down so that they will stay put while we're doing our watercoloring. Now these are the new Brutus Monroe mini ink sets. These are two of the sets that I'm using today. One is the spring set and one is the winter set. And you'll see here that I'm going to actually take them out of the package, and I'm going to pull out the colors that I want to use today for the watercoloring. We are going to use Wagon. We are also going to use the Oz color. We're going to use Phone Book, and we're going to use Rouge, and I believe that we also use Jurassic, and I think I pull out Cornflower as well. So yes, so we're going to use all of those colors, and I'm going to show you here, again, another unique property of the Brutus Monroe ink is although it will dry permanently, you can use it to watercolor, which is one of my favorite parts of the inks, because now you only need one ink to really do everything on your project. So I'm just going to take this ink, and you'll see I'm using a lot more ink than you will ever need to watercolor this little project with, and I'm just adding water and I'm mixing that together, and you'll see that I'm also going to add water to the numbers just so that I have a little bit of, I wanted a little bit of movement with the paint, and you'll see here as we transition over to painting, I'm going to put on a little bit of music, and you can just kind of see how the painting works and how the colors mesh together. See you in a minute. Now you'll see that I'm just doing a quick heat set of those inks to make sure that they are perfectly set into place. So once we are all finished up with that, you can see that those Brutus Monroe inks give us a very, very rich watercolor look and blend beautifully with the watercoloring. So now all I'm doing is I'm just going to take again that adhesive dot runner, and I am going to go ahead and place that pretty liberally on the back of this piece of paper, and that's our base layer for the card, and we're just going to place that onto our 6x6 card base that was created again with that Canson watercolor paper. So now we're going to take our piece of watercolor paper that we used to kind of smudge that rouge color of ink on, and again I wanted to use that color so we could match the roses that are already in the monogram motif that we see there. So now I'm going to go ahead and just place that in the center here as well. And once that's all done, you can see that it's completely dry at this point, and again, completely permanent. There's no smudging, there's no moving. It's some pretty awesome ink. So now we're going to take the 30, the 3 and the O. This is a birthday card, a 30th birthday card, and I'm going to place some adhesive squares, or adhesive, I guess, hexagons, I think they might be. These are the Stampin' Up! Hexagon adhesive back dots that I had left over from my paper pumpkin from last month, and I love their adhesive dots. I love the thickness of them, and I also love that they do not give you much waste whenever you are using them, because they're all cut out kind of perfectly within that space, and you can obviously cut the sides as well if you want to use a little bit more, if you don't want to waste, excuse me. So now I'm just taking this 3 in the O and 3 in the 0, excuse me, and I'm going to take off these backer pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and, excuse me, once I get all of those backer pieces, the little protective pieces off, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place both of the numbers on here. Now I had a little bit of an issue with kind of, I guess, moving and shifting and making sure that everything was kind of lined up in the right place. So you'll see here that I kind of do some moving and making sure that everything's, you know, in the correct place here. But it's nice because with those adhesive back dots, you do have a little bit of workable time. So what that means is once you place them on there, you do have, you know, a couple of minutes to move them around and kind of shift them. And the nice thing about that is you don't have a permanent adhesion right away. And if you did have, you know, it permanently, you know, on there right at that very moment, you wouldn't be able to move that around, and that's why a lot of individuals like to use a wet glue. But for me, with this, I don't like to wait. I'm impatient whenever I'm crafting, so I wanted to make sure that obviously we could get this on there and it would be affixed to it right away. So I'm doing a little bit of shifting and a little bit of moving so that it's in the exact spot that I want it, and that looks good to me. So, and I think I actually moved that 0 again. Yep, I do. And I move it to get it exactly where I want it, and once it's placed, I think it's right where it should be. So for the very final step of my card, I am just simply going to take my Christopher Allen signature stamp for the back, and I'm going to stamp that on so that everyone knows that it's a handmade card. So that is our card for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and you have a wonderful rest of your day, or of course evening or afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.